Hello and welcome back to another episode of The Real View. Real views from real people where we look at film, TV, music and give our opinions, what we like, what we don't like, maybe even do some analysis if we're feeling spicy. So in this episode we are looking at How to Train Your Dragon 2025. My name is Miles, that's Miles with a Y. You can follow me at Miles Reviews across all platforms, social media and all that. And as usual, please do all that good stuff, like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button to stay up to date with all content I'm making on this channel. As with every episode, there are time codes in the description so you can skip forward, come back, loop around, rewind selector as much as you want, time travel through this episode at your will. We use a 3-tier rating system around here from top to bottom. Let's tap it straight to my veins. This sandwich is filling but not satisfying, and that's not it. So how are you guys doing out there? I hope you're well, hope you're good, hope everything's all right in this crazy world. But I hope you're having a good time. Let me know what you're watching at the moment, what you're listening to. Let me know in the comments below. So like I said, in this episode, we are looking at How to Train Your Dragon 2025, the live action remake of the animated movie. And here's your cast call. So we got Mason Thames, Nico Parker, Gerald Butler, Nick Frost, Julian Dennison, Gabrielle Howell, Bronwyn James, Harry Trevelyan, Ruth Codd, Peter Seranovitz, Naomi Werfner, Andrea Ware, and Anna Leon Brophy, amongst others. So we're going to get into my thoughts about it right now. Here we go. Gotta catch 'em all, How to Train Your Dragon. Hope I don't get copyright for that. Anyway, we're talking How to Train Your Dragon. This is the 2025 live action remake. I saw this opening week because strangely enough, it opened on a Monday in the UK. I was wondering if maybe some kids were off school or something. I don't know what was going on. Very strange release schedule there. But anyway, that's how it happened. I was alone with the kids this week. It's just me and them. It was a really long week. So a trip to the movies was definitely needed. But anyway, that aside, let's get into it. Just to say from the very tippy top, I am freestyling this one. I haven't got many notes on this, just haven't had time to get around to doing that. But also I was like, if I don't record this, then it's probably not going to be recorded. So anyway, a minute in, let's go. Right, so what's this all about then, Governor? Young Viking Hiccup, played by Mason Thames, is desperate to be accepted and impress his father, Viking Chief Stoic the Vast, played by Gerald Butler. Everything changes, however, once Hiccup meets the Dragon Toothless, voiced by Randy Tom. So like I said, saw this opening week, and if you've listened to any of my past reviews, first thoughts or otherwise, I take issue, for the most part, with live action remakes. Now, I'll be honest, most of that fire is coming towards Disney. Yes, Disney, I'm looking at you, because in the past, especially, I've hated live action remakes that are either, I guess, less than the original, not as good as the original, or just pretty much the same play for play as the original, not offering anything new or interesting. And I just feel like, what's the point? Obviously, I know the point is to try and get money in a cheap way in terms of not having to write a new story or whatever. But also, on the other side, can be very expensive, especially when you're turning previously animated movies into live action movies, because then obviously you have to, you may have to create some effects. There might be characters or things that don't really exist in the real world. So then you have to do CGI and all that, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? But yeah, I've got to say, I went into this with not I wouldn't say really low expectations, but it's just another live action remake to me. So for me, I was just well, whatever. The original one was in 2010. So we're talking 15 years ago. You don't realize it when you semi-grow up with these movies. Not that, how old would I have been then? I mean, too old possibly, but these movies, I watched this with my my now 8-year-old Luther when he was very young, even in our old house. Wow, I just got transported back there, nostalgia. But yeah, it was that movie was I always thought How to Train Your Dragon was a great movie, and as a concept, the books are probably great as well. I'd love to pick them up. And they've really, in terms of like the animated side, they've really built quite a world of it. With some varying degrees of quality, and they've been shown on the BBC and Netflix and stuff. You got Dragon Riders of Berk and the sort of PJ Masks style one, I guess. I think even, what's her name? Marissa Martin voices one of the dragons in that. But yeah, they've had like various sort of iterations and, different versions and stuff. So when the live action one was first announced initially, I was like, man, another one, really? But this time, obviously, DreamWorks, usually it's Disney regurgitating their stuff into live action. But this time it was DreamWorks. So I was quite surprised, but at the same time, I was like, oh, rolling my eyes, as you do. Here we go again. Another cash grab, which, in all fairness, it probably is. DreamWorks, I believe, are owned by Universal Studios, and they got the Universal parks in America, so, you can make a whole another world's park, whatever, about How to Train Your Dragons, which I'm sure they probably already have. So yeah, I wasn't impressed, you know what I mean? But as time went on and I saw some trailers and some set pictures and stuff like that, I was like, okay, this is looking interesting. It's looking interesting, So, they got me intrigued, and like I say, in the week just gone, I was like, boy, let's do it. Why not? Let's go see it. And I was pleasantly surprised. I'm not gonna lie, guys. Now, no spoilers in this part, obviously, but it is, for the most part, I would say exactly the same as the 2010 animated movie. There's not much difference. Obviously, there's no major differences in the story, and in terms of even up to some of the dialogue and, the lines in the script, some of it is from what I remember, quite a lot of it is play for play. I didn't watch the 2010 animated movie in the lead up to this just because I was so convinced that with a lot of time with these live action remakes, I'm always like, I don't want to spoil the live action one by watching the original so close to it. You know what I mean? Because then it's like it feels like I'm kind of watching it twice, but just in two slightly different versions. So I didn't do that with this. But from what I can remember, this was very similar to the original. And for whatever reason, maybe it's like just the earnestness of it. Maybe it's just the scale, the epicness of the film itself, or just how well they did it, and like the little changes they made that just made it work. I just really enjoyed it. It was really good. I watched it with my 8-year-old again. He was feeling it. Like, he's a very, like, both my kids really, they're like very like fidgety, and they're kids, in it, like it takes a lot to just grab their attention. And for the most part in this movie, he was like, I didn't have to tell him to sit down or whatever, or stop trying to run around so much. He was engaged for the most part, and I've got to say I was as well. Yeah, it was just a good time. It was a really good time. I really enjoyed this movie, and I can't believe I'm saying that, this live action remake was really good. So I guess Disney take note from DreamWorks. Whatever they're doing is working, for me at least. And I'm not putting complete shade on Disney. In most recently, I've really enjoyed Snow White, which was, quite a different live action remake. Lilo and Stitch was, it was okay. And then Mufasa, The Lion King, that was pretty good. Obviously, that was a prequel, so I guess my mind has kind of been changed on anything that's sort of just play for play, the original, if you know what I mean, when you're doing a remake. Yeah, they made it work in this, and I'm sure there were some differences. I think there were definitely some little differences that I noticed. But yeah, it was good, man. And yeah, before I go into spoilers as well, obviously the cast is a bit more diverse than the original was. I mean, I don't know, is it? I mean, yeah, definitely is. Even though the worst one was voice cast, even in this was a bit more diverse. When you think of Vikings, you definitely think of, your white, burly Vikings, blonde ladies, also very strong, and that kind of thing. That's what you kind of think. And again, I'm all about, like, different voices and, different people and backgrounds and all that kind of stuff. I love that. That's my thing, man. I'm into that. I'm into it. What can I say? But I also think you have to strike that balance because recently we've had don't know if you've been following Marvel Comics. There's been like a white Black Panther, which you know what, I cast no judgment because I've not been reading or have read those comics, so I don't know the context or whatever. A very interesting move, I must say. Definitely grabbed the headlines, but there you go. But I say that to say that there has to be a balance between like. I don't expect to watch a movie about Queen Elizabeth, for example, and have her portrayed by a black woman or an Indian woman or Asian or, Latina or whatever. I expect that to be an English white lady or maybe a German one. There has to kind of be a balance. And with this one, they explained it. I'll get into it more in spoilers if I remember. They explain it in a way that it works, but also it's got dragons in it. It's not supposed to be real. Just saying, sorry guys, dragons do not exist. So if you are going to mix it up, if you are going to, I guess to some degree, blind cast in a movie with Vikings, then this is the one to do it in because it's not supposed to have a sense of realism, etc., etc. So, come at me if you will, but I don't have a problem with it, and I'm here for it. I thought it was good, and I thought they made it work. Most importantly, and race wasn't integral to the story, but they still addressed it in a way that made it work. Okay, so yeah. That's how I feel. You're not going to change my mind, and that's what I'm saying. But anyway, yeah, this movie, this film, I really liked it. Oh yeah, and before I get into spoilers as well, there is one post-credit scene right at the very end after all the credits, and if you're not a big fan of the How to Train Your Dragon lore or books or films in general, just duck out. It's not. For me, it's not worth it. You're not really missing anything, and for a little bit, they're probably going to do a sequel, but even the post credit itself doesn't necessarily lead to that. So, lean to that, should I say? So, whatever, innit? But each their own. If you like it, go for it. So this film, really liked it. Like I say, really enjoyed it. Looks great. I did have a couple issues with some of the darker scenes, the night scenes. I really like. I don't know if it was my old eyes or just but it just seemed quite blurry. And obviously, it's easier to cover a multitude of scenes when you're doing something that's computer graphics heavy or special effects heavy in a night scene. But yeah, I feel like it kind of suffered. Like maybe it was too dark. I don't know. But yeah, definitely the day stuff was a lot better and a lot clearer for me. But like I say, I was putting this movie. I really like it. Really enjoyed getting to see it with my kids. And yeah, man, tap it straight to my veins. All right, let's get into spoilers. Okay, so the cast were great, really. I did take a little while to adjust to some of them because obviously there were some differences. Like as we know, as you may know, in the 2010 original animated movie, Gobber, who is played by Nick Frost in this, Gobber in that movie has a very thick sort of Scottish accent. Well, not thick, but thick enough to stand up there with Gerald Butler's Stoic. And yeah, Nick Frost, he didn't have that in this. It was more Nick Frosty. And it took me a while to adjust. But you know what? He worked. I liked his little attachments. They still kept that in. And it looked great. He looked great. His character was pretty much how I remember. And yeah, in totality, the whole cast, though, good. Like Mason Thames, awesome Hiccup. He really had that character down to a T. Was Mason Thames the guy that voiced the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man? Anyway, I digress. But he was just really good. He really had that sort of awkward, almost angsty teenage vibe, that was very present in the original 2010 one. I would say he's not as not as immediately comedic as Jacob. What's that name? Jacob something was in the original, but yeah, as a standalone performance, brilliant. Hiccup really had a lot of heart to him. You really could feel his anxiety, his nervousness, his desire to really just belong and be accepted and all that kind of stuff. But then also, like, you know, when it flipped to him kind of rebelling against the status quo for Vikings, yeah, in protecting dragons and ultimately sort of preserving and improving their way of life, which, you know, was big. Jared Butler returning as Stoic. I couldn't imagine anyone else doing that, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like, he is Stoic the Vast. What can I say? If they changed that, who knows? Would I have enjoyed the movie that much? Would have been a tough one. Like I was saying earlier about, like, sort of a diverse cast and race and that kind of thing. You got Nico Parker playing Astrid, and obviously Astrid in the original appears as a blonde white girl, you know. Like I said, that sort of stereotypical look of a Viking. But, like, yeah, Astrid's look in this, like, she was, it really just, they made it work for Nico Parker. And Nico Parker was brilliant in this. So I got no qualms, no problems. And then obviously, you know, on that note, you got Julian Dennison, Kiwi boy, you know, actor from New Zealand, young man from New Zealand, playing Fishlegs. Fishlegs was played by Jonah Hill in the original one. Again, white and blonde, I believe. But yeah, it just works. He, like, proper had that, like, geeky kind of vibe, delivered the lines about the dragon facts really well. And like I say, it just worked. And there's a scene where they're in sort of like the equivalent of the town hall, having a meeting about what to do about these dragons or whatnot. And Jared Butler sort of, you know, is talking to all the kind of great warriors there, all the different women and men from various places. And he shouts out one coming from the Far East. So you got an Asian lady there. And, you know, even Astrid is talked about from coming from another land, and how all of them had come together to create this village of Burke. Is it Burke or Burke? I can't remember anyway. But yeah, like, it's explained in a way that makes sense and it works for the movie. But yeah, you had Gabriel Howard Snotlout, great Snotlout. I didn't take to him at first, I'm not gonna lie, but he definitely had the Snotlout down. Bronwyn James and Harry Trevelyan, sorry, as Rough Nut and Tough Nut. Perfect coupling. Like, I don't know how old Bronwyn James is. She was obviously in Wicked recently with I can't remember his name now. No, I can't remember his name. But anyway, as one of the, like, sort of Galindaians, like her little minions, her little friends. And I don't know how old she is in real life, but she managed to play young really well. But yeah, her and Harry just had a great brother-sister chemistry thing going on, and it just really works. I was really here for it. Peter Serafinowicz. I'm not going to say this right at all. Peter Serafinowicz. He's a great actor. Sorry, butchered your name. But he's a great actor. He's in loads of different things. And he's just, like, he's a great comedic actor. He's in Guardians of the Galaxy and, like I say, all kinds of movies. Great character actor. Great serious actor. And he's played Spike Lout in this, who is Snotlout's father. Oh, wow. I just realised the Lout. Yeah. Very Viking, I guess. But yeah, I thought he didn't even do much in this. Like, he didn't get a lot of screen time, but what he did with it, just the way his presence and the way he carried himself and the way he said a lot and not saying anything, brilliant, man. I love seeing this guy on screen. This guy needs to be in more. Give him more, guys. Come on, Peter Serafinowicz, or however you say his name. He's great, and I loved him in this. And I don't know if a lot of people will notice that, but it was worth seeing. A couple of changes they did had. They had an elder called Goffy, played by Naomi Werfner. I can't remember her in the original one, in all honesty. But, yeah, he was sorry, she was interesting. I got why I got the use of her and her purpose in it, but it could have done better. But I'm glad she got the screen time. You know what I mean? It's all good. But yeah, a lot of different people in this. You had Ruth Codd playing Flemmer. I can't remember who. No, I do remember who she was. I don't know if she was related to anyone. Anna Leon Brophy played Recha. She was the one, the warrior from the Far East, I believe. Marcus Onilude, who I've seen in quite a few things. I believe he's a British actor. He played Snorty. Again, not much, not a lot to say, not a lot of lines, but he had a bit of screen time, and I'm happy for him, man. Yeah, man, do your thing. You know what I mean? Like, getting out there, it's good for you, man. Obviously, it sounds like he's a Nigerian as well. It's cool. Anyway, what am I talking about? Yeah, so the story, the look of the movie was really cool. The way that Hiccup and Toothless bonded was very similar to the original, and their interaction with each other was just brilliant. It was quite seamless, to be fair. Like, I can't. I'm looking at, like, Toothless is probably the most, in terms of like the look and design of the dragons, it's probably the most cartoonish in keeping with the original. But there is some. It's very much like, like when you're on social media or whatever, and you're scrolling through, and then like there's a post about, if Pokemon, but in real life. Like, it was very much that. But I would say for Toothless more so. The other dragon character designs, I just think it's because of the way the Night Fury kind of looks. It is quite, cartoonish and unique in a way, I guess. But and I think it's the eyes. I think it's the eyes that does it as well. But for a lot of the other dragons, it was they looked very much more like, they looked realer. They looked like dragons in real life. And I've got to say, the design and the look of them were great. From the Bronco, that big bulky, that small bulky one, that one that can set itself on fire, the two-headed one, they all looked fantastic. Like, I think that's that. If I was going to say whether or not you should take all kids, I think younger kids might have a few moments where it gets a bit too scary for them. Possibly, just because of how great these dragons look. Like, and the dragon at the end, the big bad, the big alpha dragon. Flip, man. Great design. Like, it just, don't get me wrong, is mostly, those scenes were mostly in the dark and the smog, but just brilliant. I mean, there's a scene where Astra gets trapped in the flipping alpha dragon's mouth, and in order to escape, she's like smashing a few of the teeth so she can jump out. And it's just, stuff like that, man. It was brilliant. The flight scenes were great. Like, they were just really, I felt it all, you know what I mean? They were immersive, and they were just really it looked great as well. It looks like the original but real, but in a really good way. And I think that's also part of why I liked it so much, man. It was just really cool. And I guess, really nice for, a new generation to have their own How to Train Your Dragon. Obviously, you can always just grab the old one, whatever, and there's the other movies. But as if this is your first How to Train Your Dragon experience, well, a cool one, man. It's really good, And, the Vikings look cool. Costume design was on point. There, Hiccup, he looked kind of like an emo kid, and if an emo kid was a Viking, but not in a way where it's like, it didn't look like nobody would be wearing this stuff. It kind of looked in keeping with the whole time and story and scenery, and everything just worked, man. What can I say? Everything just worked. Give them some BAFTAs and thing, for the visual effects and the costume design and some Oscars and all that. Give it to them, man. It was good. Yeah, I was really surprised at how good a time I had, and it's just a really enjoyable movie. So yeah, I would say, if you're into that kind of stuff, the mystical and the fantastical, go check it out. It's worth seeing. And I liked it. I could say more, but I've definitely spoken a lot more than I thought I would, and I think I'm just going to leave it there because it was good. Well directed, well produced, well acted, well performed, well designed, well put together, man. It's just a good old production. I really liked it, and I believe
the original writers and directors and stuff from the original animated movie were all involved in this, which again could have been key to how good it was and how well executed it was. Tap it straight to my veins. I loved it. Also, just to add, some good messaging in there, man. Good messages for the kids. Believe in yourself. If you're different, maybe it's for a reason. Maybe it's, maybe that's a good thing. Believe in yourself. There's strength in your differences, Just do you, man. Do you. Be guided by your instinct. Trust yourself. It's good.
And yes, those were my thoughts on How to Train Your Dragon 2025. Have you seen the movie yet? Are you looking forward to seeing it? Is it something that's on your list? How did you find it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. And yes, of course, you've been listening to me, Miles. That's Miles with a Y. You can follow me across all social media platforms at Miles Reviews. So please check that out. And like I said before, please do all that good stuff. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button to stay up to date with any videos and content I'm making. Just want to say thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, or however you're consuming this. Appreciate it. And yeah, I hope you guys are good out there. Hope you're well. Hope you're enjoying the films, the TV, and the music. But most importantly, life. Right, I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Take care. God bless and all the rest.